and welcome to News9 Live. The high-octane assembly elections for the 5 crucial states have kicked off. Polling is underway in Chhattisgarh and Mizoram. Chhattisgarh is voting in 2 phases. 12 out of the 20 seats where elections are being held today are in the Naxal-affected Bastar region. The battle in Chhattisgarh is for over 90 seats today. The election in Chhattisgarh is being held predominantly in the Naxal belt. The main battle here is between the Congress party and the Bharatiya Janata Party. The Congress, which had won 68 seats in the last polls, is battling anti-incumbency, while the BJP is banking on the development mantra as well as its campaign against corruption. The polling has more or less been largely peaceful so far, barring an IED blast in Sukma, where a Jawan has been injured. In Mizoram, Chief Minister Zoramthanga's MNF aims to maintain power in the upcoming assembly elections, facing challenges from the growing Zoram People's Movement, that is ZPM, and a resurgent Congress. All the 40 constituencies in the state are going to polls in this phase. The elections are happening in the Christian majority state against the backdrop of violence in neighboring Manipur. Mizoram as well as Chhattisgarh. Those are the visuals on your screen right now. Very important election for considering that it could work as a precursor to the 2024 elections. And now let's debate what are the main issues when it comes to both the states. Effie Finai, who is a political analyst, is now joining us live on the debate, as well as senior journalist and author Neerja Chaudhary. A very warm welcome to you, Effie. I can see you there. Good morning. Looking all cheerful. You know, so when we talk about the first day, we talk about the polling, you know, I want to hear from you the comments. You've been watching visuals on our platform. What is your first instinctive feeling, as it were, Effie?
Yes. Mizoram election has a very unique feature compared to the rest of the rest of India, because we are egalitarian society. We are equal society that, there's no caste distinction, and the NGOs have played a very important role when it comes to a free, fair, and transparent election. So, unlike other states where we witness, election rallies, house-to-house campaigns, those are the things which are not very common here, especially after election dates has been announced by the Election Commission. So far, according to the reports that have been, recently published by Information Public Relations Department, Government of Mizoram, that till 9 a.m. that 17.34% voters have turned out. And in the last election of 2018, that 81% of voters have turned out. I'm sorry, 84.9% have turned out of voters turnout, and this time it is expected to cross 90%. That will be, that can be possibly the highest, the highest voting turnout since the formation of the statehood. And the youth, now we have around 50,000 first-time voters in the state. So the youth, these first-time voters, are also playing a very active role, and they are very enthusiastic about casting the votes. From the urban areas, from Aizawl, those who have gone home to their rural homes and the smaller towns have, started since last Saturday. There has been, traffic jam early in the morning in the bus depot and the transportation deportation places like that. So it's a happy, it's a democratic festival that has been called.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I can see the smile on your face, Effie, and
Yes.
you're absolutely right. That's the beauty of a democracy. The vibrant democracies, when you and we come out and vote in large numbers, because then it's in our hands what we really want. A very important state Mizoram has always been, and I think this time around, let's see that if the people of Mizoram throw up some surprises which will be more interesting. If Neerja Chaudhary is with us, can I go to her? Neerja Chaudhary, senior journalist and author, very well known across the journalistic circles, and there she is. Neerja, first of all, very glad, and what a fantastic book you've written. You know, I have gifted it to several people. You know, so yeah, it's wonderful having you on the show. Neerja, the first question is, you know, I do shows on south of India, so it's not as if I'm not adept with what's happening in the north, but I see that the elections in Chhattisgarh is like quintessential what elections were when I was young and I was covering elections, which is development, issue based, corruption, who does what, who said what. Because don't you feel that after 2014, elections have become rather personality centric? You know, it's the kernel is in the man or the woman who comes to campaign the last and does, you know, a flurry of campaigning. Would you say Chhattisgarh is quintessentially about issue based, Neerja?
No, I would not say that it is only issue based. I think it is very much personality based in Chhattisgarh. Also, around the Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel. In fact, I was in Chhattisgarh about a week ago, and I was interested in many, particularly younger people, saying this to me. You know, we are very unhappy with our candidate. He's not been accessible. He's not done ABCD for us. But we are this time going to vote for the Congress party because we are voting for Bhupesh Baghel and what he's done. And there are two things that they zero in on. One is what they call Kisani, what he has done for the farming community. And I was at that meeting when he announced the loan waiver for the farmers again, which, you know, converted a sort of sleepy meeting into absolutely, they got charged up and slogans. And then the next day I found traveling through other parts, you know, that had gone completely viral, that was being discussed. But Kisani is one thing, and Chhattisgarhiyat, the Chhattisgarhi identity, which he has talked about and highlighted, which also has what you would call soft Hindutva as well as culture. For instance, he's building a Bhavya Mandir in the name of Kaushalya.
Yeah, hold your thought, because, you know, I wanted to ask you that, Neerja, because 12 of these seats are tribal. I mean, today when we talk about this, and they are from the Naxal affected Bastar region, and what Bhupesh Baghel has done and what the BJP has as a kind of a retort, where you say that it's about conversion, you know, well, I can say that it's about conversion. Is it? I'm going to come back to you, hold that thought. You know, let me go to Effie. Let's now focus on Mizoram, the other important state, which is going to elections, of course. You know, the shadow of Manipur, Effie. The shadow of Manipur violence, you know, do you think that it will have a spillover effect on Mizoram elections, as there are around 13,000 people from Manipur who've come to take refuge in Mizoram? Do you think that is going to be one of the main planks during these elections? Finai.
Yes. Okay, of course, the issue of ethnic violence and the aftermath, the people who have come from Manipur, especially the Zo ethnic people, to Mizoram, can be a trump card for the MNF government. But this cannot be the sole factor for the MNF party to win this election, because, like I said in the morning, that the anti-incumbency wave has been pretty strong this time against the ruling party. So, but luckily, I should say, luckily for the MNF party, that in swinging in favor of the majority mood of the Mizo people, like when the government of Mizoram, especially the MNF party, has shown their solidarity, with us, with the Zo brothers from Manipur, the Zo brothers, that this can be, one of the changing, trump card for the MNF government, but it cannot be the sole factor. And like the MNF party, the other party as well have shown their solidarity with the Kukizo ethnic people. So this could be, the one of the major factor for all the political parties. But like I said, since the MNF party has, hold the political, the key player, they have hold the political power, this could be their trump card as well.
All right. Nirja, you spoke about Chhattisgarhiyat, if I got that wrong, like in Punjab, they spoke about Punjabiyat, Kashmiriyat. So, so far as this tribal belt is concerned, Baghel spoke a lot about preserving the tribal culture, the development of Devgudis and Ghutuls, for instance. They've allocated a grant of 5 lakhs to each panchayat in Bastar to undertake renovation of Devgudis in their villages, and also a grant of 10,000 to each panchayat to protect various tribal festivals. But the BJP says all that does not suffice because of the conversions, and the identity of the tribals is actually getting obliterated. Your thoughts on that? I mean, where do you think is one needs to focus more? Because let's understand the whole Ghar Wapsi, the conversion, the obliteration, the eclipsing is also a very important narrative, as it were.
Yes, that certainly the BJP has made that into a narrative. That the Chhattisgarhiyat does not necessarily involve the tribals. They have a very different identity which needs to be preserved. And also the whole question of conversion, dharmantar, what the BJP has talked about, conversion into Christianity. And of course, one of the ministers of Bhupesh Baghel said openly countering this, that if you can prove even one case of dharmantar conversion, I will quit my politics. And Mr. Baghel said this to me. This is, he completely denied this. But, it's one narrative against the other narrative. And it's very interesting today, if I may say so. Sometimes, big doors swing on little hinges. And the elections today, which is the first phase of elections to these 5 state assemblies, are taking place in 2 very important areas which involve the tribal community. The elections in Mizoram will give us an inkling, not just of what Mizoram thinks, but also an inkling into what the northeast, parts of northeast India are thinking today after Manipur and the developments there. And it will give us an inkling of how the tribals in the heartland, heart of India, in Bastar, so there are 12 seats that are going to the polls, how they think about the issues. So I consider today's elections very, very significant, because I think it's going to be a pointer to the future.
Yes.
About how tribal communities think. This is going to be a very important vote bank as far as the BJP is concerned, as also the other side.
All right. Let me also welcome Avdesh Kumar Malik, who is a senior journalist. Avdesh ji, namaskar. A very warm welcome on the show. Do you think that this whole conversion, versus preserving tribal culture and social mores of these communities, which is actually the crux of the matter, I would stick my neck out and say that, if you take that out from whoever you are, whatever your religion may be, that actually impacts your very identity. Do you think that the BJP, what do you think, the conversion issue, because a lot of voices are also coming from there and they are saying, yes, we've been converted, there has been not coercion, but kind of attracting us and things like that. Do you think it is a major issue to be seen and it will become an election issue, or you think it really does not matter? What matters is development or vikas, or like Nirja ji said, Kisan?
No. We can't say that conversion has no impact on these elections. There are pockets, there are some areas where conversion is a very deep impact, especially when we go into the core tribal areas, basically Bastar and Jagdalpur, near Jagdalpur, then the Konta area, where the Minister Kawasi Lakma is fighting, because the converted Christians, basically the tribals who were converted to the Christianity, has launched their own party there, that is called Sarvadi Dal, and they have basically put their candidates on 9 seats on the Bastar. That's Bastar is a very crucial area in Chhattisgarh. It defines who has more and more seats in the Bastar. It defines the direction of the politics. So definitely, if Sarvadi Dal, and as far as I have been conversation with Arun Pannalal, who is leading this. He is the national president of this party. Definitely, it has basically it will make a division of the Congress votes. So that is very concerning thing. And second, apart from this conversion, if we go that, there is also resentment in the tribals in those areas, and also, the strongest social organization of the tribals, Sarva Adivasi Samaj, which has also launched its own party and fielded its own candidates.
Right.
They are basically eating of the places where the rebels has come to join the party. And somewhere, some places it is damaging Congress, some places it is damaging BJP. Basically, it is quite clear that the fight is between BJP and Congress.
That's right. That's absolutely right. Yeah. Ashok Tomar, political analyst, is also joining us. Let me welcome Ashok ji. Ashok ji, namaskar. Great to have you on the debate, sir. And I just want to ask you that, before I came to this show, a lot of people wanted to know that, the Chief Minister, Zoramthanga, has said that, I will not share the stage with Prime Minister Narendra Modi when he campaigns here, How do you look at it? Because this is a very intriguing statement coming from Zoramthanga, as it were. Can you hear me, Ashokji? I think you'll have to unmute.
No, ma'am. Yeah, no, I have not got it, ma'am. Can you repeat the question,
Surely,
please?
of course I can repeat, sir. Ashokji, the thing is that what is very intriguing is that the Mizoram CM, Zoramthanga, has gone on record and said it several times that if Modi comes here, I will not share the stage with him. I have my own identity. I have my own issues so far as Mizoram is concerned. How do you look at this? Your opinion on this, sir?
On Mizoram? Madam, I won't be able to say much on Mizoram because I was told about Chhattisgarh. I am prepared for Chhattisgarh. I'm
क्या
sorry.
बात है? अरे ठीक है, तो शायद हम लोगों से मैं आपसे छत्तीसगढ़ के बारे में पूछ लेती हूँ. कौन सी बड़ी बात है?
Please.
There are two polls happening. The more the merrier, I must say. So Ashok ji, tell me something. In Chhattisgarh, when you look at it, I was asking Nirja ji this. It reminded me of my youth, and it's so wonderful, when someone is reminded of her youth. I was. Because it seems that the issue here is, Modi somewhere is not a personality-driven thing here in Chhattisgarh. Baghel is important, but I think more than that, the hero here is issues like corruption, gas subsidies, conversion, Vikas. Do you think the issues have taken more precedence than personalities, Ashok ji? What would you say?
No. Corruption is not an issue. To begin with.
Mahadev, the
Corruption
reference to...
is not an issue in Chhattisgarh.
Ji.
And particularly in Raipur, I have seen people, lakhs and crores of rupees were spent on someone's son's or daughter's marriage.
I'm not able, I think we've lost his audio. Let me go to the other guest. Meanwhile, Ashok ji can always fix his audio, and it's wonderful. He's also going to speak on Chhattisgarh. Effie, let me come to you. Effie, that question, if I may throw to you, where Zoramthanga said, and I have read many reports, the relationship between him and Modi. He said, if he comes here, I respect him. He's our Prime Minister, but I will not share the stage with him. Your opinion on that. Is it that the Chief Minister is somewhere securing his own identity with his own people? Because Mizoram, much like Telangana, where KCR Garu is also fighting an election, it's about the Telugus, but in Telangana and not in Andhra Pradesh, identities have become very important. What would you say? FFNI.
Yeah, of course, the relationship between the BJP and the MNF party, starting from the MNF joining the NEDA and the part of the NDA, it's not big, it's a kind of controversial because if you look back in the history that, before the 2018 elections, that the MNF were, directly unwilling to accept or accept or to the public that they are a part of the NDA, but after for the formation of the government and after announcing their support to the NDA government in 2019, that towards this completion of this MNF ministry, that now the MNF have opened this as stated their statement saying that they are part of the NDA, that they are part of the government formation at the center, that they can get more funds, they can get more funds and support from the central government because they are the part of the NDA. But with this issue of refugee political asylum influx from uh, Myanmar, as well as the Manipur
Yeah.
ethnic issue, that the stand between the MNF, MNF who believed in the Zoe reunification and the ethnic ties with our Zoe Kuki ethnic brethren, the Kuki Zoe people, beyond the boundary, beyond the political boundary, is something which the MNF stood since the formation of since the MNF as a formation of a political party way back in the 1960s. Okay,
Right.
and when the MNF have fought, during the time when the MNF became an underground in the 1960s, that many of these Kuki Zo people from, Churachandpur, Manipur, have joined the movement, hoping for that greater,
Right.
Zo reunification. So therefore, the MNF party have stood for their, or original, I should say, or this their original stand on
Absolutely.
the
All right.
reunification,
And
even
and
though
and
it
and and,
is
and
not
if we
possible.
hold that thought, because from you I go to Nirja ji and talk about Mizo nationalism. Nirja Chaudhary, Zoram Thanga has maintained very, very clearly and asserted that he is committed to Mizo nationalism, the cause of Mizo nationalism. We all know that there is a border dispute between Mizoram and Assam, long-standing violent clashes between the police forces of Assam and Mizoram, July 2022, which claimed the lives of 6 people, which we all remember very, very. So this whole Mizo nationalism and him saying, I will not share the dice with Modi, don't you think that's a big, flag waver kind of a thing for Zoram Thanga? And in the current atmosphere, वो कहते हैं ना जो हवा चल रही है आसपास, उसका असर आप पर होगा. So do you think that's going to really work in his favor, Nirja Chaudhary?
I'd make 3-4 points here.
Ji.
That Mizoram has been the most peaceful state in recent times in the northeast of India. It was torn by insurgency, but after the Mizo Accord in 1986, it's been a reasonably peaceful state. And, people have cited it as an example of development and how states in the Northeast could settle down to everything. Now, number 2, what we mustn't also forget, that the Northeast of India is a crucible of yellow and brown races. It is what enriches India. And therefore, the Mizos that you talk, Mizos have their links with the Kukis, the Chins of Myanmar, and they come from the same stock. And of late, after the problems in Myanmar, you had many, many refugees come to Mizoram from there, the Kukis, and they were given shelter. Then after the problems in Manipur of late, since May this year, you have, as you yourself said, around 12,000 refugees, Kuki refugees, who took shelter in Mizoram. Now, Mizoram is deeply affected by the Manipur violence, the Kuki versus the Meitei violence. Kukis from the hills and the Meiteis from the valley in Manipur. Now, the Kukis particularly have not taken kindly to the BJP's handling of the whole violence there, not being able to take action against the chief minister, not send him packing, despite all that's happened. And there's also disappointment that the prime minister did not say anything about Manipur.
Yes.
Nor did he visit the state. And I have friends in Mizoram and I have friends in Nagaland, and they were very baffled. Why should this be so? Why should we be treated like this? And somewhere I think Zoram Thanga's attempt to distance himself from his ally, the BJP, Last time they got, MNF got 26 seats and the BJP got 1, and they were in the alliance in the NDA in 2018. But this time, he's very consciously, clearly distanced himself. And what you've said, that he will not share a stage with the Prime Minister, is a big thing to say.
Yes.
But he's trying to placate that, that nationalistic feeling, or is it anti-Delhi? I don't know. But even the ZPM has said very clearly, that's this other party that was number 2, which is an independent party of younger people who, they've said very clearly, we're not going to either align with this side or even with the India alliance if we come to power. So they want to distance themselves with the mainline parties in Delhi.
Right.
So I think it is going to be very interesting who the Mizos go for. Would they again go for Zoram-Thanga and MNF now that he's distanced himself from the BJP, or trying to distance himself? Or will they go for this new party, ZPM, Zoram People's Movement, which had got 8 seats last time, was number 2? Or will they look at the Congress?
All right.
It's going to be very, it's going to be, as I said at the beginning, reflective of the thinking, not just of the Mizos, but the, communities and the states around them.
If you wanted to say something to what Neerja Chaudhary was saying, please go ahead. I'll come to...
Yeah, I just want to add one point there. Not only the people of Manipur, the tribals of Manipur, but the Mizos are also very disappointed with how the central government has been handling the Manipur political problem since May 3rd. And the Prime Minister Narendra Modi is supposed to come to Mizoram for election campaign last week. But, flyers have been made that he's coming to Mizoram for the election campaign in Mamit district, which is one of the, kind of emerging stronghold for the BJP party. But he cancelled that in the last minute because it has faced a lot of public criticism that the Prime Minister is coming to Mizoram when, he completely forgot about the Manipur issue. Why is it necessary for him to visit Mizoram when he doesn't even bother to visit Manipur? So last minute, the campaign program of the Prime Minister was cancelled in Mamit district. Yes.
All right. And before I go to the other guest, let me also tell the viewers that Prime Minister Modi, while addressing a rally in Chhattisgarh's Bishrampur, criticized the Congress over the Naxal issue. The PM stated that the courage of terrorists and Naxals increases in the country whenever Congress is in power. He alleged that the Congress government has failed to control Naxal violence. The Prime Minister also spoke about the BJP workers who lost their lives and mentioned that a few days ago, one of the party workers was shot dead.
कांग्रेस की एक और बड़ी नाकामी पे रही है। जब जब कांग्रेस सरकार में आती है, तब तब देश में आतंकवादियों और नक्सलियों के हौसले बढ़ जाते हैं। जहां भी देखो, इधर कभी बम फूटने की खबर आती है, कभी उधर बम फूटने की खबर आती है, कभी यहां मार दिया काट दिया की खबर आती है, कभी यहां मार दिया काट दिया की खबर आती थी। जिस जिस राज्य में कांग्रेस सत्ता में होती है, वहां अपराध का, लूटपाट का राज ही चलता है। कांग्रेस सरकार नक्सल हिंसा को काबू करने में असफल रही है। बीते कुछ समय में भाजपा के अनेक कार्यकर्ताओं को हमसे छीना गया है। अभी भी कुछ दिन पहले हमारे एक साथी को गोली मार करके उसकी जीवन तबाह कर दिया। इसलिए भाइयों बहनों, क्या ये बम बंदूक के साए में जीना है क्या? ये बम बंदूक के साए में जीना है क्या? कितना ही पैसा क्यों न हो, बेटा शाम को घर न लौटे और बेटे की लाश घर पे आए, उन पैसों का क्या करेंगे हम लोग? और इसलिए भाइयों बहनों, हर किसी की सुरक्षा बहुत जरूरी है और इसलिए कांग्रेस को हटाना उतना ही जरूरी है। हटाओगे? बिल्कुल साफ कर दोगे? हर कोने में से हटाओगे? हर पोलिंग बूथ में से हटाओगे? पक्का हटाओगे?
Ashok Tomar is back with us. Good to see you, Ashok ji. I want to ask you that the areas which are going to polls today, you know, they are Naxal affected. There are no two ways about it, but they are extremely significant. What the Prime Minister said right now about not being able to contain the sustained violence in these areas, which have been a concern for subsequent governments, you know, in all the, but you talk about the undivided Andhra Pradesh, anywhere, it's been a big issue, the red corridor as it were. I want to ask you, sir, that is it an issue this election? The violence perpetrated by the so-called Naxals who are so-called allegedly anti-national, anti-governance, admin, etc., etc., etc. What do you think?
To begin with, the Naxal of 15 years back and the Naxal of today, I find it a radical change in them. They are not that violent. They have become very, shall I say, money earning philosophy of some people. As you know, flats in Hyderabad, flats in Calcutta, they were found, the owners were Naxals. That is number one. Just now, Prime Minister said that during Congress and this thing, without citing any party, let me tell you that 95 CRPF Jawans were killed in Chhattisgarh during Raman Singh time. And all said and done, he's saying lot of my Congress BJP person have lost. 20 top leaders of Congress were murdered in Bastar during BJP regime. So how is that there is more violence? And if there were violence, this election wouldn't have taken place. Let me tell you. I have seen them in Midnapur, this thing. Particular some booths election were cancelled and re-election was announced.
Hanji.
So, therefore, I'm saying one
so
or
it's
two
not an issue. Sir, are you saying, हाँ सर अभी भी आज भी जो एक घटना हुई है तो आप ये कह रहे हैं उस पर ज्यादा तवज्जो ना दी जाए. It's not an issue. Is that what you say?
Yes, not an issue. No.
Not
so
an
long
issue.
if a person is able to travel from Dantewada to Bijapur to Pankhaju, I consider it as a peaceful area.
All right, Avdesh Kumarji, let me bring into focus, you know, the 38 lakh odd farmers in the state, because Kisani, like Nirja ji, began this conversation. She's been traveling and she said that the focus is mainly on farmers. Now, I want you to, you know, tell me, because see, this is also the Hawa is not just about identities, but also about welfare. You know, after the Congress has won Karnataka, you know, the 5 guarantees, they have gone and announced 6 guarantees in Telangana. They are riding on, you know, Annabhagya scheme and, you know, Graha Lakshmi, Graha Jyoti, etc., etc. So there is a kind of, and I refuse to call them revadis. I'm sorry, it's very disparaging. I think they are welfare schemes. And, you know, it's not a freebie. What is freebie? I mean, these are our people. So anyway, coming to the point. Now, Congress has promised paddy procurement of rupees 3,200 per quintal, you know, which is 20 acre per quintal, including input subsidies being given under the Rajiv Gandhi Nyaya Yojana. अब भाजपा का देखिए आप, they are saying Krishi Unnati scheme, under which 21 quintals of paddy per acre will be procured at rupees 3,100. If you see 19-20 का फर्क है दोनों में, कैसे आंकलन करेंगे आप? You think Baghel has emerged, you think, as a man who is one with the agrarian society in Chhattisgarh, or you think he's going to face a tough competition? Avdesh ji.
Actually, I just want to say that the things is definitely some parts and some section is issue based, and it is also related to identity. Basically, the experiment has done in the BJP era here. Raman Singh face was put in a face and make a poster boy, and people have started recognizing Raman Singh more than BJP. Later on, that same experiment has been done here by Congress government and put the Baghel in the front. Initially, the schemes which are right now we are talking about, we have to go and back and see the history. It is the Raman Singh who has started these schemes, basically on the paddy bonus, enhancing the paddy procurement price, area, and all those things. So, and finally, he got a name that is Chaur Bale Baba, matlab the man, the Baba who is serving rice and PDS and all sorts of the things. And finally, it has benefited the farmers that time. And second, the Raman Singh has missed that bus when it's time come to gain enhancement, give the bonus to the people. And finally, it was captured by Baghel, and finally, he got in power. Right? And you see, then it was in basically in the poll strategist minds of the poll strategist, it was quite clear that without taking farmers in your own confidence, you can't win the elections here
Right,
somewhere.
right.
Because the paddy has impact on basically the paddy belts.
Absolutely, because that's what Neerja started by saying, that paddy and farmers, it's a very, very important issue when it comes to Chhattisgarh. Effie, I want to come to you. We are talking about nationalism, Mizo nationalism, we're speaking about identity, it's about asserting oneself. I want to ask you that the BJP is, of course, ladies and gentlemen, you must have heard, and people who've been following Mizoram elections. Effie, if I can have you on the screen right now, they are eyeing the votes of linguistic minorities such as Chakmas and Bru, Lai, Mara, all these communities who are, who live in the southern part of the state. Do you think that's going to work also? Because, I know it's too early, but then when we talk about identities, do you think this is an important bucket when we talk about identities, Effie?
Of course, this is one of the main emerging issue in this election this time, especially that this minority politics in Mizoram can play a trump card for the BJP party. For the first time that the BJP has marked their presence in the state legislative assembly in the 2018 election by winning one seat from Tuizong constituency, that is won by Dr. Bidit Chakma, who belongs to the minority community. And that is the first time. And after that, in the these areas, autonomous district council areas, that the BJP has won the elections in the Chakma autonomous district council and in the Siaiha autonomous district council. And this time the BJP is winning to get more, legislative assembly seats, so that they can have some bargaining power when the result comes out in the formation of the government. So yes, the BJP is playing this identity card, especially among the minorities, pretty well, and they are very good at playing this minority politics, this identity politics, and they are hoping to be in that. They are hoping to be the key player in the formation of the new government this time, and they are very confident that they are going to get more than
absolutely
just
yeah.
one seat.
Yeah, that's why elections are like a festival. I mean, everybody goes there and puts their best foot forward, and we'll have to wait for the results.
And ma'am, if I can add one more
please,
point.
Effie, go ahead.
Yes, the BJP this time, the big shots have come to campaign for the election, especially in the two districts where this minority population presence is strong, in the Mamit district and in the Siaha district. Before the announcement of the election, also that Mamit district have been more than around 50, if I have made a mistake, I'm not around like 15 union ministers have visited Mamit district, and big shots like Rajnath Singh, the union defense minister, have come for the campaign in Durham this time. So they are trying they're playing their A game to get more seats from this constituency.
And even as Effie says that a lot of prominent people, how they are campaigning, let's listen into some very prominent voices from Mizoram. I'll be back in a minute.
Well, I have cast my vote and I have visited half of my constituency also. And I believe that from the political atmospheres and of this voting day, I believe that we shall be able to form the government. And in my constituency, in the East 1, we hope we shall be having an overwhelming victory. Well, this time we have finished only one term. So normally, at least, they had the 2 terms, 10 years. But anyhow, this is not the most important. The most important is how you perform during your government. So during this, even in the COVID period, we have performed very well, and I believe that people appreciated it, and we shall be able to form the government. I certainly believe that we shall be able to form the government on our own, not of any coalition type.
He's always saying his dream.
Please say something also.
He's saying his dream. Then.
Will it come reality?
No, I don't think. He will not come again.
What the people's...
It seems from the movement of the people, the same government will not come again, because anti-incumbency wave is very much at this time.
Neerja Chaudhary, I'm coming to you, and you said a very interesting thing, that this could be a precursor so far as the tribals are concerned and what they are thinking, and have a kind of a benchmark, as to what is happening, a template as it were. Now, if you look at Mizoram, the BJP has promised 33% reservation for women in government jobs, say that there will be a solution to the border dispute with Assam, among several other things. Do you think both in Chhattisgarh as well as in Mizoram, the argument is once again back to insider and outsider kind of a thing, where what will trump? What matters to the people of each state? Do you think that is the second thing one can look at in broad terms, as it were? Neerja, can you hear me? I think there is some issue with her thing. So let me go to the other guest. If Ashok ji, you can take my question. What I asked is that in both these states, Mizoram, Chhattisgarh particularly, is the fight now back to insider versus outsider? Gas cylinder, subsidies, jobs for me, security, tribals, Chhattisgarh jo hamara hai, and the outsider who will come and promise something, parachute and then disappear. So the identity has become a very important aspect in Chhattisgarh, and of course Mizoram, FE has already said it is.
It is. Shall I answer it?
Yes, sir. Please.
Okay. Yeah. Right now, Mr. Baghel has taken a lead. Okay. This paddy price plus tendu leaf price plus loan waiver, these three things are going to play a very major role. And last but not the least, Atmanandi school also. Many schools in many districts have been opened by Mr. Baghel, which has got a very positive response from the.
So I want to also quickly ask you, I want to quickly ask you before I say, because I'm running out of time, you think the Mahadev controversy or the corruption charges, is it an issue? Because BJP will go hammer and tongs on that.
No, it will not become an issue. I can tell you, I can assure anyone that Mahadev is not going to become an issue. Mr. Baghel has already taken the lead. Let them shout at the top of their voice.
All right.
Prior to this, there were a number of things. And secondly, BJP doesn't have any leader. They called Raman Singh quite late. It was too little and too late.
All right.
Had he been from, then I'm sure he would have done this thing.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Don't forget, come again. Yeah.
No, I've completely run out of time, but I think the answer is in the proof of the pudding, as it were. On result day, maybe I'll meet all of you and once again take this conversation forward. But it's time to thank each one of you. Ashokji, thank you very much. Avdeshji, it was such a pleasure. Nirja, it was what a riveting conversation. And Effie, it was so lovely to meet with you and speak with you. Thank you very much indeed. And that's all we have in this bulletin. But there's going to be complete coverage of these two states which have gone to elections and kick-started, as it were, the assembly elections, and we will follow through with lots of elections in other states, in Telangana, for instance. But thank you for watching, and for all the news analysis and particularly the assembly elections. Make this your destination. News9 Live.
News9 big coverage of 5 assembly polls. Mandate 2023.